Welcome in. We are here. Thursday night football is about to kick off. We have roughly 30 minutes ahead of it to get your start sit questions answered. Big news, HN is active. To what extent? That is the true question, because at this point, I don't know of a whole lot of people that I would be starting him over. I mean, you kind of are forced to start him, which isn't ideal, unfortunately, but that in mind, we'll start with the questions we have. Oh, perfect. Juan starting us off. How do I feel? If you have him, you kind of have to start him. That's just where we're going to be, unfortunately. So it's tough. I don't like it at all. But he is a more explosive back. I'm guessing that Wilson will be the other half of that. I do think that Wright will get kind of included, but the extent of which HN's really going to be used will be interesting to kind of see. So I'm kind of worried about it. I'm more wanting to stay away from it, but it's just too hard because of how dominant he can be with even a limited amount of workload, especially in this game. So hopefully that is something useful. We'll see. I'm hoping for the best out of him because a lot of fantasy players have him. He was a top 12 pick for a reason, and it continues to show, especially at the running back position. So, all right, Parker, thoughts on Jeff Wilson tonight? I'm more nervous about this. I do think when it comes to short area and potentially end zone, Wilson will have some use, but actually seeing how that's going to go will be interesting. I'm absolutely terrified on it. Not quite sure how I will feel when really feel about it. Wilson, like I said, touchdowns, short area. They want to make sure that HN's going to be healthy. I'm hoping he's used more in the passing game where he doesn't get those hard-hitting tackles or having to fight through a bunch of bigger guys. So I think that's going to be more of Wilson's job. So yeah, hopefully that helps, Porter. I think I said Parker for first. I'm sorry about that. All right. One, PPR, start two, HN, Harris, Jameson, Shakir, Pickens, Lazard. I'm probably going to go HN and Williams here. I like Lazard because I think that Wilson has a tough matchup, but that was really more of a lucky situation. Shakir's interesting because of the target share and the rain. I think he could have a lot of options. I am just completely off of Pickens this week. We saw what Surtain did to DK, and Fields isn't a super passer. He's going to more use his legs. So with that in mind, I'm going to go HN and Jameson. If you want to play it safe, it's probably HN and Harris. But that's kind of where I'm looking for that. Guys have questions, go ahead and ask. We'll keep rolling through it up till kickoff, and then I will bounce out and watch the game because that's what I'm here for. All right, Porter, pick 3, wide receiver 3, and 2 flex spots. A half PPR, nice. Okay. Ridley, Shakir, when you're already starting Kincaid, Brian Thomas, Javonte Williams, Chase Brown. Wow, that's rough. Ridley is probably going to be the one you're starting for sure. BTJ or Brian Thomas, you're also going to be starting. I'm nervous about Williams. That you kind of saw the split and how that worked out. McLaughlin is the one that team actually really likes in the backfield. To kind of talked about that yesterday on Roster of the People. So seeing that split when it's going to be a competitive game, I would really expect Williams to get a lot of work. Chase Brown, just don't see that happening for a while unless Moss goes down. And so he had spurts that he looked good, but so I'm going to go with Ridley, Shakir, and Brian Thomas, the running backs here. I'm just scared away from completely because of their usage in their split. So here we go. AW, welcome. London Neighbors, Mason for pick 2. This is actually pretty good. Neighbors popped up today with an injury. I don't really love that. It makes me a little nervous on him. You're definitely safe picks here are Mason and Ford, assuming CMC is out. If he does end up playing, you're probably going to actually go with London and Ford. Again, we touched on it yesterday. I think London has a lot of opportunity to bounce back. It'll be very interesting to see how that works out. So I would go with Mason and Ford right now. If CMC ends up playing, I'm going to play London and Ford. The Giants just didn't look very good, is another big part of that. I'm completely nervous of it. Even having Wandale, I think Wandale's your safest bet for a Giant to have any success. Slayton also being concussion protocol helps a lot. Gives Neighbors a little boost, but the fact that he popped up on the injury report today makes me way too nervous on it. So hopefully that's somewhat useful information. I think London and Ford will be the ones you end up falling back on. But don't love it, unfortunately. If you guys have questions, go ahead and ask. Right now is the time. We have 22 minutes until kickoff. Other kind of, I guess, I don't know if it's interesting things I kind of noticed from the other games. I expect this game to be one of the higher scoring. Of course, Vegas agrees. They had the over-under at 50.5. My pick for tonight is going to be the Bills plus 2.5. I think it's a great line. Anytime touchdowns, clearly going to be Allen. If you get the opportunity and can find anywhere that you get the passing yards, I'm probably going to take the over. I think last time I looked, it was like 265. Every time he's played the Dolphins, it's been over 350. Or around 350 yards passing. So another good note to have. This I really think is going to be a real back and forth game. I'm very curious to see how that goes. If you guys have questions, go ahead and ask. If you haven't, of course, like and subscribe. We're going to keep rolling this out. Outside of that, there wasn't a whole lot of things. I'm like I touched on. Super nervous for Neighbors. Makes me terrified. All right, Jay. Let's see here. Question first: Connor, Ford, or Dobbins? Stop one. Ooh, that's tough. I really like the matchups for Connor and Dobbins. Dobbins actually has one of the better matchups. We saw what he did with the limited workload. But because of that, I'm also worried that could be a blowout and you see more of Gus. That was a pretty even split. So I'm going to roll out Connor here. And, I mean, again, he really controlled that backfield. It's again, they're going to have to throw. There's a lot of opportunity. And so I'm definitely going to be rolling out Connor this week. Hopefully. All right, Jay, let's see. BZ, welcome in. H-Chan, Kenny Walker. Walker's been dealing with that abdomen. Makes me super nervous. Dobbins, Jerome Ford. I'm starting 3 of them. H-Chan good to go. I mean, you kind of have to. Then I'd be with Walker and Dobbins. I'll be back Sunday morning. You guys, if you haven't liked and subscribed, you need to hit the notification. You'll see me pop up as more news comes out. Right now, I'm going to say that Walker it probably goes. So I'm going to go H-N, Walker, and Dobbins. But really awesome running back room. H-N does make me nervous, but it's difficult. I don't love the matchup just because of his health. If completely healthy, hadn't had issues, it'd be one thing. But I'm struggling to trust it is the big part of that. But it's hard to sit him because it only takes a handful of carries, and if he can see 5 or 6 targets and catches them, you already have probably 10 points there, pretty safely. So it's definitely hard to sit any of them. But you do need to be watching about Kenneth Walker in that news because that's the big area to watch for sure. Hey, all right, Jake. If I want to start Waddle tonight or plug in Pollard, if it's PPR, you're playing Waddle. Bills have done a pretty good job with the bracket, and Waddle's really succeeded there. The rain makes me a little nervous, but I think it's going to be fine. I think this is, like I said, highest over under. Miami's favored by 2 points. If that's the case, they're going to have to throw. I'm guessing that Hill has one big game, or one long touchdown per usual. Waddle will get a lot of the work though. He's a lot safer. I like Pollard's matchup, and I liked how they used him, but they continue to say it's a hot hand approach. So if it's any kind of PPR, I'm definitely going Waddle. If it's no point or standard, it's probably going to be Pollard. It's just a safer option, but absolutely am not a big fan of it. So, yeah. All right. what were some other notes that came out today that I was kind of interested on? Hopkins still dealing with injury. I saw Juwan Jennings come back. Yeah, so you're probably playing Waddle. Let's roll that out. So other thing is Jordan's Addison ankle injury, hadn't played Wednesday or Thursday. Kind of makes me interested to see who they end up bringing out. So that's going to be another kind of fun one to watch. You're from there. You guys, granted, I wasn't here for the waiver show on Monday. My flight got delayed, all that good stuff. So if you haven't watched, we have the waiver show on Monday. But Foster Moreau is a name to keep an eye on. He led the team in targets for the tight end position. He was on the field a lot until he had his concussion, and then they really split it up between Juwan and Hill. Juwan getting clearly more of the work, and Hill being the rushing beast that he is. So if you're looking for somebody, I'd definitely be keeping an eye on that. I know he's going through the protocol for concussions, so that should be an interesting way of dealing with it. Speaking of concussions, other thing to watch, New York Giants, Darius Slayton brought that up a little earlier in concussion protocol. Same note, Malik Neighbors popped up on the injury report today, had a leg muscle tighten on him. That makes me more nervous. So in that same game, like I keep bringing up, Wan'Dale Robinson is actually a pretty good play. We talked about it yesterday. He continues to be one of the people that I'm going to be high on. Just because of his usage and the fact that Daniel Jones is going to be under fire a lot. Same note, I mean, people who are underrated, I think McLaurin has a good matchup against the Giants this week. I know he's very scary. Don't love that. And Neil hated when I brought it up. Really enjoyed him as a player. If you guys have questions, please ask them. We still have 15 minutes until kickoff. So if you're wanting some picks, I can easily go through that as well. Anything, I'm more than willing to walk through it and help everybody I can. That's the whole point of this, is just doing a start sit. Let's see. Jordan Love being out, the only player that I'm really interested there is going to be Jacobs and actually Reed. We kind of saw how they used him all over there, and I think it actually really hurts Watson. That was a big note. Wanted to make sure that people knew that Reed is still a viable option. You need to be using him. Puka being out for at least 4 weeks, another big issue. So of the other wide receivers that I'm looking at, it's going to be Demarcus Robinson. Just because I liked how he's used. He seemed to have the most targets after Puka left. I know Tyler Johnson had a big play, but that was really came down to kind of a fluke play. I think Robinson, we saw last year, even catch fire. Oh, perfect. Leftified. Welcome in. All right. PPR League, Jeff Wilson, Zamir White, or Jaleel McLaughlin. Yeah, it's not ideal. That is for sure. Man. Of them, I'm probably going to go McLaughlin here. Kind of touched on it earlier. Broncos have been splitting, and they actually really like Jaleel. He's one of their, we talked about it last night, one of their favorite backs, which when it's a game that they're going to be down like they should be in this one, you'll see a lot more McLaughlin coming out there. Javonte Williams is more likely going to be the steady hand when they're winning, which won't be very often, unfortunately, for the Broncos. Sorry, Denver. That's just how that's going to be. Wilson, I think, is going to be used at goal line in short area, trying to get that big push. That's kind of what he's known for, and will be used that way. Don't love him tonight. And then Zamir White, they seem to start really strong with White, and he didn't get anything done. And then they started going to Madison, and almost completely just went Madison after that. Madison just had bigger runs and was able to see things a little better. So of them, I'm going McLaughlin until we see more. Wilson, like I said, it's just too risky. She's back. Welcome, Tamara. Yeah. Full PPR. Let's see. McConkey, Worthy, or Kirk. I like them all. I think I'm going to go McConkey here. It's just the fact that it's an easy matchup. We saw how he's being used. Palmer got kicked out early. I think he was a good option. Worthy has a lot of upside, and My only worry is that, again, I think the Chiefs get up and they're able to kind of run the ball a lot. Granted, or do the short area targets, which really hurts Worthy. It goes more to Kelsey and Rice. And I like Kirk. Kirk is going to be similar to McConkey. But for Kirk, the Jags are playing the Browns, who pretty much all got beat up. So I'm kind of thinking that's going to be another blowout. So you'll see more of Etienne and a lot of Bigsby again. But McConkey was a beast when he was out there. So I'm going to roll out. Also, do you see Nico being good by Sunday? Yeah, him being on. I mean, he got sick. So, I mean, even if it's a 48-hour bug, he should be good to go. Definitely keep an eye on it. I'll be back here Sunday to tell you for sure. Neil will be helping me in the background. So, yeah, I'm probably going to guess that Nico's going to be fine. And if he's not, that would really surprise me. So, I think you're okay, the Tamara. All right, Juan, how do I feel about Shakir rest of the season? So, granted, it was only 1 week. Shouldn't be too crazy there. And Shakir was the wide receiver too. However, Curtis Samuel having the turf toe and having that injury makes me kind of hesitant on him. I was very high on Samuel, so I'm kind of worried. If he actually does get into being healthy, I think he'll be take over Shakir. So that makes me a little more nervous on it. I'm going to try and stay away from that. I think he'll be fine as long as Samuel continues to be limited because of the turf toe. I think that really holds him back quite a bit. And they want to see what they have. So at least the first handful of games, I'm going to guess Shakir stays as a wide receiver 2 on the team. Like I said, turf toe, I'm guessing he's at least for the first 4 weeks, which gives Shakir a little boost up. All right, keep it G. Purdy or Tua? Kind of talked about it yesterday. I'm nervous on Purdy. I think they're going to be able to run the ball. They kind of saw how they were able to do that, and that really hurt Purdy this past week, as both Debo and Mason scored rushing touchdowns. So I'm going to go Tua again. Keep bringing it up. Highest scoring game of the week. It's tonight at 50.5 over under. I wouldn't be surprised if they're actually pretty close to that. If not, both of them being 27-30, 30-27. I mean, it's going to be around that area for me. So gonna go with Tua here. Just too much upside to kind of get away from, especially with Achane being hurt. I know he's going to play. It's just, I'm guessing they're going to use him more in the passing game, which you kind of saw already. So, Camera, of course, always happy to help. That's the whole point. If you guys have questions, go ahead and ask them. We still have 10 minutes. Again, really appreciate you guys coming to watch this. I tried to make sure that we were still able to answer the questions, because that's the whole point of this, is to make sure we get your questions answered the best we can. One of the other, I guess, big notes that I kind of had is just, you guys, really a lot of overreactions to week 1. Again, short sample size. Worthy, I really liked how he was used, but again, Hollywood Brown was out. He should be out again this week. We'll see. Really think that there's a lot of talent there, and because it's likely going to be week 3 or 4 before Brown is back, I think that gives Worthy a really good time to get into it and become even better. So really like him as a option. And talked about it. I'm really high on a handful of players this week. We talked about my start sits yesterday. If you guys didn't, you need to go back and watch that. But start of the week, Baker Mayfield. Again, he is continuing his run from last year, continuing to put up big numbers. I know last week was insane, the 4 passing touchdowns. I doubt that happens this week, but it is the Lions. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for him. Polo, we were talking about you yesterday. We missed you yesterday. We're really hoping you'd be here. But we'll see how that ends up going. But glad to see you're here. Good evening. Ready for some football. 8 minutes away. And so, yeah. The other... Tamara's back. All right, let's see. I have a hard time because I know. Yeah, again, it's not overhyped. It really isn't. He is a very solid player. I do think it's just the fact that we need to see him more consistently be used. A lot of options on that offense. I liked how Rice was used. He was one of my bigger calls last week. And of course, he just showed out. Was actually really surprised by Mason. That one kind of burned me. But yeah, Fast Freak, absolutely love it. He's a much better MVS. So if that continues to be the case, he's going to be scary. He's definitely great value from drafts for sure. All right, Cameron. Jeff Wilson, Schubert. Oh my gosh, that's brutal. Man. Actually, probably gonna go Chuba. I mean, I would like to say Tajay because I'm a big Tajay person. Spears is a great running back. That offense is made to run. It's the Jets who you just saw what the 49ers did to them with Jordan Mason and Deebo Samuel. Granted, that's a different kind of situation. They're really made to run the ball, and it doesn't matter with who. I'm really nervous on Jeff Wilson. Brought it up earlier. Third down, touchdowns. That's kind of be his area. HN's going to be more of the pass catcher and probably get some spells out with Wright getting his first looks tonight as well. But we also know that Sanders didn't look as great as he should have been. And so when the game gets out of control, they went back to Chuba. And again, versus the Chargers, it should get out of control again. So I think Chuba would get a lot more touches. So if you're going on opportunity, it's going to be Chuba. But if you are chasing upside, I'm going to roll out Spears because that team is made to run. And I think he looked just as good as he will. As long as he's healthy, you're probably going to roll him out there. Yeah, for sure, Tamara. I mean, definitely a beast. You guys have questions? If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Hit the bell so you get the notifications. Trying to think of other big questions I had. A lot of people were asking about Likely and Kincaid. So I am in on Kincaid tonight. I really like him. I think there's a lot of of course, Cameron. Happy to help. Really like him tonight. I think he's going to be a good option. Last week, he was really the Cardinals. That was their goal, is to take him away. I think a lot of defenses should try and do that because he is the clear number one target for that team. He has the most rapport. He's going to be, outside of Knox, going to have that talent to really get things done. I like Likely, but I think this week it goes back to Andrews just because first week, I think they want to take away Andrews. You kind of saw how that worked out. And the Chiefs even said that was their goal. So I'm going to stay away from that. Oh, Daniel made it in. Stafford or Baker. Again, talked about it last night. It's a coin flip. I have Baker higher. He's my start of the week. In PPR, pick 2. Etienne, Robinson, or Moss. I'm probably going to go Etienne and Robinson. Like Moss a lot, but that team terrifies me right now. I'm really nervous on the Bengals, especially with Burrow not looking great. Chase, we'll see how that ends up going. And the Chiefs have really been getting after the quarterback. We saw that last week against Lamar. And Joe Burrow isn't that mobile. So it will be interesting to see how that works out. Standard pick 2, HN, Walker, Jones, Dobbins. It's probably going to be, well, now that Walker's popped up on the report, I'm going to keep an eye on that. But it'd be HN and Walker. If Walker doesn't go, I'd switch to Dobbins. So hopefully that is something useful. Again, you have to keep an eye on Walker. That's the big part of this takeaway is keep an eye on Walker. Drop Chiefs D for Jags D. I wouldn't. I like the Jags D a lot more this week specifically, but I think the Chiefs D kind of show what they could do against what I consider a much better offense in the Ravens. And so with the Bengals still starting off slow, I'm going to try and stay away from them the best I can. So yeah, hopefully that'll get you more information. We have to wait and see. It's really what it comes down to. We have 3 minutes left. You have your questions. You have to get them answered. Send them my way. Here's a good one. James Cook or Jordan Mason. Of those, oh man, I'm probably going to go with Jordan Mason. I like Cook tonight. I think he has the opportunity, but that team is made to run right now. And so the more opportunity goes to him, Allen's taking away touchdowns. Oh, Tamara, back up for CMC. If CMC options are Moss, Shaheed, Sutton, or Moreau. Moreau's going to be likely out. I am keeping an eye on it, though, because it is concussion protocol. He's making his way through it. Of them, man, I'm really tempted to go Sutton here. I think there's a lot of upside there. I know his first week was rough, but he had a tough matchup. Outside of that, I'm probably going to roll out Shaheed. Shaheed is, again, big boomer bust guy. I think he's the second look. If Moreau's out, has a lot of the big playability, which you really like. So I'd probably go Shaheed. All right, Daniel, pick 2. Ford, Reed, Aaron Jones, Demarcus Robinson. It's probably going to be Reed and it's PPR. I'm probably going to go Reed and Demarcus Robinson. I like Jones and Ford, but it's the wide receivers. Both, I think Reed gets a lot of touches anyway. So all good there. Yeah. Notification. Oh, nothing that matters. Whew. Any other questions? Looking like we're okay. 1 minute till kickoff in theory. Haven't already, subscribe. We'll get through this. Be back again tomorrow for anybody who likes betting shows. Tomorrow we have some of the best in the business. Mason's already in the black. I'm already in the black. But he will be with Mason and Vishal will be having their show tomorrow. And then I'll be back on Sunday to answer more start-sit questions. Last chance for that. Here's a good one. Neighbors or Coleman? Right now, because we don't know what's going on with Neighbors with the leg injury and him popping up today with the tightness, I'm going to go Coleman. He is the wide receiver 1 on the team currently. And until that changes, I think this offense, especially this week, will have to move the ball. I'm pretty high on Coleman, and I would be rolling him out there. All right. But I think we're going to be done. I don't see any other questions. If you have anything else, make sure to ask. If you haven't, you can join the Discord. It's only $1 a month. And it's cheaper if you join for a year. Outside of that, I will see you all on Sunday. I hope you enjoy watching on Prime, since I messed up yesterday and said it was on Peacock. It's not on Peacock this week. They are back to Prime Thursday nights. And so hope you guys can enjoy that. And as always, remember to keep up the nonsense.